I've spent another week in the books. Reminder that all content warnings are with the longer write-up on my website. First up this week, I finished off A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. Tamsin has been raised as the royal whipping girl. Her whole life, she has borne any punishment that was meant for the royal princesses, her sisters. So, when a celebrated warrior, nicknamed Lord Beast, comes demanding a princess as his bride in repayment for all of his noble deeds, she's willing to be the one instead of any of her sisters. As she leaves her life in the castle, it's proving to be more sheltered than she would have imagined. At least there she was safe looking the way she does as a redhead, because elsewhere they are hunted for their magic. She doesn't think she has any though, so should she be okay? She ends up discovering a lot more about the world. She ends up there's finding a lot more to this man that she's just married, and there's a lot more to herself too. I had so much fun with this one, especially I was reading this in a book where redheads are being hunted. We had this big trend on TikTok about gingers and some of the trauma that we do actually face in real life for looking the way that we do. I do love the world building in this one. It is the same world that is in the author's Firelight series, but that is not required reading for this one. This works well as a standalone. I am liking this one enough that I do think I will be going back to read that just to learn more. I love seeing all the relationships that are being built here because they are so complex and nuanced. There are complicated feelings even when characters love each other very, very dearly, like in the sister relationships. As they're building a romantic relationship, we are in a coerced marriage, and yet the author does a wonderful job of building consent and actually building chemistry too. I am very much looking forward to the second one. It will be coming out in October. I, however, have an advanced reader copy, so I will be giving you my review well before that. My second book of the week was The Ressurrectionist by Kathleen S. Allen. A big thank you to NetGalley and the publisher on this one for an advanced reader copy of the ebook. The best way to describe this one that I have come up with so far is it is a reimagining of the original novel Frankenstein, except in this one, Victor Frankenstein is a teenage girl named Dilly, and it's set in 1888 Whitechapel, which any true crime aficionados have just had some bells ringing pretty hard because that's exactly when Jack the Ripper was happening. This book is a phenomenal love letter to Mary Shelley. It continues to ask the same questions about what constitutes a monster that Shelley started asking in her novel, but this one has a much deeper focus on the doctor character, as opposed to in the original novel that gives you a lot of the monster's perspective. The person who has been resurrected in this one is never a POV. We have Dilly's perspective throughout the entire book. It delves much deeper into her relationships, both familial and friendship, and it deals a lot more deeply with her grief. A number of the elements that I loved in here were things like the dramatic irony that was created by having Dilly's future thoughts about the events about to occur in each chapter at the start of each chapter. I do love reading stories about women who have to disguise themselves as a man just to have permission to do the thing they want to do. And I do appreciate that, at least for the current moment, we are not living in those times. This was so much fun. I loved it at my age. If I was closer to Dilly's age and reading this, because this is a young adult book, I'm already rating it 5 stars. I can't imagine having read it at that age. It would have changed my entire life. This is such a phenomenal book. I highly recommend. It will be coming out this October. Get your hands on it. If you are a reader who loves the creepy, if you have a younger reader in your life who loves the creepy, this is a phenomenal book for them. Last but certainly not least, we have the 5th season, courtesy of my local library. This is the first installment in the Broken Earth trilogy. I have just started this one. I am not even 100 pages in yet, and there are just short of 450 pages in this book. However, I am really loving it. Everything I have heard about this author having such a unique and distinct voice is absolutely 100% true. This is actually the first time I have ever been made a character in a novel by use of the second person narrative voice. Also, I am a mom, so the fact that it has made me a grieving mother is powerful. I'm really liking where it is so far. I'm really liking where it's going. I'm excited for the rest. I have had so many opinions that I trust tell me that I personally am going to love this one. And I'm very, very excited for the rest. And I will update you next week on how I did. As always, there is a longer write-up of all of this available on my website at writing.hallidaynelson.com. And I want to hear what you are reading and having fun with, because no matter how big my TBR pile gets, I want to let it keep growing. So give me your 5-star reads, and even your 4, maybe 3-star reads if you think they might be up my alley. And of course, happy reading.